So this is going to be a part 1 of part 2 on the locator. The first part of the locator I'm going to draw is I'm going to draw the actual model itself, and then we're going to do an orthographic drawing, which is what you're looking at right now. So orthographic drawing, that's going to be part 2. I'm also going to show you how to dimension and to show you kind of how to finish that drawing itself. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw, use a standard IPT, nothing normal. I've already clicked on it because my computer kind of freezes every time I do it. Hit start 2D sketch, XY plane. Once you get here, where I'd like to start on this locator is we're going to start on this front view, and then we're going to give it some, we're going to do an extrusion off that front view. We're going to do an extrusion once we draw this, and the extrusion is going to be this 2.12. And the only thing that we're going to have to do once we do the extrusions, we're going to have to make some cuts. So we're going to use some addition and subtraction modeling. But let's start with this front view. So I'm going to start at this corner. So I'm just going to draw a line 2.5. Grab your line tool. I'm going to go relatively quickly because you guys should be pretty familiar with how to do this. 2.5. My navigation bar is not here. I'm going to user interface. Oh, it is here, but it's not here. Just going to maximize this. Alright, now I'm going to zoom out. Zoom since all. Zoom out. Alright. I'm going to right click hit OK just because I'm like out of room. I'm going to use the pan tool. I'm going to actually zoom out just a little bit. I'm going to pan and zoom out. There we go. I can see a little better now. Alright, to go back into it, I'm going to click my sketch tool. I'm going to create a line. Now here I got this angle of 30 degrees. I showed you guys kind of how to do that. But I'm going to start back over on this side, and I'm just going to keep drawing and going across, and then I'll draw at 30 degrees last. So I got 1.56 down. Create my line tool. 1.56. Zoom out again. And then I'm going to go over. It's 2.62. 2.62. Enter. Zoom out again. Alright, now I'm going to go down. I'm not sure what that distance is down. I know it's 2.26. So what I can do is 2.26 subtract that from 1.56. So let's do that. So I'm going to type in 2.26, subtract that, or minus sign, 1.56. Enter. So give me a distance of that. Here's a distance of 4.76. So what I could do is I could just kind of bring this over like this. And again, I'm going to right click it OK. I just kind of drew any line possible. I'm going to use this dimension tool, and I can do it like this as well. This can give me a large mark, but since I have this dimension, this is kind of another way of doing it. 4.76, 4.76. Alright, and then that is going to give me the exact dimensions. And one thing I'd recommend doing is when you are drawing, make sure your dimensions, you have every dimension that it has in the drawing. Alright, it just makes sure it keeps you like correct. It's a way of checking. Now here's a little difficult part. I don't know what the length of this line is, so I'm going to have to go 30 degrees, and then I'm going to have to bring a line up because there's no dimension on this line, so I have no idea. So I'm going to grab my line tool again, and I'm going to click, and I'm going to bring this down. Now I'm going to make this long line, long. I'm going to draw it past this part, and I'm going to hit tab 30 degrees. Enter. Right click it, OK. Now all I know from this line is this is 30 degrees, and this just goes straight up till it hits the 30 degrees. So all I'm going to have to do is take this line tool, bring this straight up, right click it, OK. Use your trim tool, click, and just subtract or trim up the rest of it. And let's get a dimension here, because I have the dimension 2.26. Just kind of check to make sure all my drawing's good. 2.26, perfect. Oh, it's going to say it's a driven dimension because we have this dimension. If I delete this dimension, it won't give us that error. .26, bam. So there you go. Alright, so now that we have that, so that's the front view of it. Now we gotta go in our top view. Again, it doesn't show us the front view on this. This is kind of the missing front view kind of thing. So we gotta kind of guess what the front view is. But since we had, or the side view, or the front view, however you're looking at it, since we're missing this view, I'm now gonna go in the top view and I'm gonna extrude this out. And I'm gonna extrude it to the complete 2.12. So let's finish sketch. Zoom sense all. Extrude this to the back. And this is going to be 2.12. This is one of those that have really strange dimensions. Good grief. 2.112. Alright, so that's the overall shape. Now I have a couple cutouts in the circle. I'm going to work on these cutouts first. I'll do this oval or circle, the two circles in the line. I'll do that last. So here I'm going to make two boxes and I'm going to extrude them. These boxes are the same length and essentially the same distance away. So we're going to draw in our top view. I'm going to click on that view. Now I don't like, because I'm not in the view that I'm seeing it, so I'm just going to click this arrow right here by my view cube. If you lost your view cube, just go to view. If you lost it, go to view, user interface, and type into the view cube. But if not, I am actually just going to use this arrow right here and kind of turn my shape to the way that I see it right here. And all I'm going to do, and this is going to be pretty simple, is I'm going to make two boxes. I'm going to start at this corner, make a box 1.12 and 0.56. So make sure I click on here. And I'm going to do 1.12, tab 0.56. I believe that's the sizes. Double check. 1.12, 1.12, 0.56, 0.56. Enter. So again, 1.12, tab 0.56. Enter. There we go. So I got 1.12, 0.56, and I actually need two of these. So I can go over here, and I'm going to take the same point. So kind of get me to that length. Why it's not selecting that. Being a little bugger. Escape. Let me use project geometry. This is kind of nice. It kind of selects the face. I'm going to hit rectangle again. There we go. Now it's locking in place. So I got my 1.12 already locked. I'm just going to tab over 0.56. Enter. Alright, so there we go. I'm going to right click, hit OK. And I'm going to make sure this dimension here is 1, which it is. It's going to say it's a driven dimension because I'm over sketches because I have this dimension too. But if I wanted to delete that dimension, I can have this dimension right back where it was. Click. And this is just to make sure I have it correct, which I do. 1.56, 1.12. We're good to rock and roll. So I'm going to hit finish sketch. I'm going to extrude these down. Click, click. And I'm going to switch my direction. And I want to change this distance to all. And I'm just going to hit OK. And make sure it's on cut. Cut. Hit OK. Bam. Okay. So that's what it looks like. Now we need to add this the two circles here with a couple lines. So what we're going to do is we're going to add 2 points, click and click, and then we're going to do the diameter 0.62, and then we're going to be good to go. So the first line I know is 1.06, so the first point 1.06 high, 0.76 over. So let's go, so 2D sketch, top view. I'm going to click on that arrow again just so it's in the same view I'm looking at it. I'm going to add myself a point. I'm actually going to add 2 points. And make sure when you're adding points, make sure you're not clicking on anything that's particular. Like if I made this line up exactly, it would mess me all up. So just kind of click 2 lines, right click it OK. Dimension, I'm in dimension from this point to this point, click. And this needs to be 1.06, 1.06, enter. Now I can use this, this is called horizontal constraint. If I click on my horizontal constraint, I'm going to make this line and that to be horizontal, which kind of makes it perfectly lined up. So that's another cool little constraint. So once I have that, it's going to be, these points are going to be 0.62, or I'm sorry, be 1 inch away. So I'm just going to dimension these points, click, make sure this is 1, enter. And I'm going to have a circle. This is going to be a diameter of 0.62, I believe. Let me double check that. Yeah, 0.62. And I'm going to do the same thing here. And actually, it'll like kind of click to it because it knows you have that other circle there. Click. Right click, hit OK. Draw a line. The line's going to be from this point to this point, or like the center points from the bottom to the bottom. Click. Right click, hit OK. And that's the little tangent tool. So it is tangent, so I don't got to worry about that. And I can just use the trim tool again. I'm going to trim the inside. Bada boom, bada bang. Stuff looks good. Okay. Now I know that this line, or this hole, actually goes straight through, because you can see this is called a hidden line, which means there's a hole, and it goes straight through the whole object. So we're going to hit finish sketch. We're going to extrude this. I'm going to change the direction. And we're just going to hit cut. And I'm just going to leave the distance because the distance does go straight through. But if you want to, you could do to all. We're going to hit OK. And that's what she looks like. So that's going to be part 1 of the locator. Part 2, I'm going to show you how to create an IDW drawing or an orthographic drawing. And then I'm going to show you exactly how to dimension it as well. So this is going to be, again, step 1 or part 1 of 2 parts for the locator.